show is rolling now, I would like to explain what live and in person too means, because there's like, it's live, but then there's like this parenthetical documentation after it. It's like, well, what the fuck do you expect? If it's live, I expect you to actually be in person. And this is actually an important clarification, because you can be live, but you don't have to be in person anymore. Tupac performed recently at Coachella, but he wasn't actually there. That was Tupac.mpeg. So you had a Tupacogram up there, and he's not dead. That's not why they had it. He just couldn't make it. So he was like, he called in, he phoned it in. He was like, you guys, I can't make it. You know, my flight got delayed. So just use the video of me pretending to rap. But I point this out because this is an amazing business opportunity. Because all I have to do now is just film myself in front of a 3D camera, and I can perform wherever the fuck I want. And so can other bands. You can go in Japan, they do Hatsune Miku, and I'm sure they have the best pornography over there now because you can just watch a hologram of it. I mean, they're leaps and bounds ahead of us. You know, that's great. But here's the thing for me. I can perform wherever I want, whenever I want, until the end of time itself. And I love this because with this business opportunity, I will never die. I will never die. And this isn't one of those marketing pep speeches where I'm like, I'm a millionaire, I will never die. No, I will never die. I mean, literally, one of these days, my heart's going to cease to function and I'm going to drop dead. And that might be in the middle of one of my shows, and that will probably be the best show I'll ever perform. But figuratively, I'm gonna perform forever. You know, your great grandkids will be able to see me, and if you never get laid and never have kids, they're lost. So usually when I travel to conventions now, I can't afford gas because it's like, you know, like $15 a gallon or something stupid like that. I don't know who to blame for that. Everyone is like, Obama, this was your fault. And Obama's like, dude, do I look like the CEO of fucking ExxonMobil? But whoever's fault it is that gas is so expensive, just eat a dick. I hope it. Just the whole thing. Just shab balls and all, just tank, just eat it. Just fear factor that motherfucker. I'd like to take Greyhound over flying. You can fly somewhere and you get there really fast, but then you gotta wait in line for like 5.5 hours, and then the TSA security guards, you know, they stick their hand up your ass and you know, just see if you have a bomb, you know, because I look like somebody who would walk into an airport with a bomb. But I like traveling by Greyhound. Not only is it cheaper, they don't give a fuck. You can do whatever you want at Greyhound. They don't care. There is no security at a Greyhound station. They don't care. I can bring a suitcase full of razor blades and a gallon of shampoo, and they don't care. They're like, what is this? What's this? Get on the bus. Just whatever. Just put it under the bus. Come on. Just get on. Come on. We're holding it up. We got illegal aliens that are trying to get into this country. Just fucking get your shit together. Come on. I like it because they don't care. Because they know no one's gonna fuck with a Greyhound bus. I mean, if you hijack a Greyhound bus, you can only go like 38 miles an hour because the transmission was last serviced in like 1980 never. So, I mean, if it okay, let me put it this way. Not even the movie Speed made bus hijacking cool. People saw that and they're like, this is fucking lame. Buses weren't relevant even in the 90s. There was like, what, like 2 people on the bus and Keanu Reeves? Because they know that if you hijack a bus and you try to crash into something, first of all, it's not going to make it over a road bump, so that's it. You're going to stop if you try to go off the shoulder. And you're going to kill like 3 people in the bus. 4 if there's someone trying to hitch a free ride in the bathroom. That's it. That's all you get. So they know there is absolutely no urgency whatsoever. It's just a rickety box of stink on wheels, and that's it. That's Greyhound. Don't fall asleep on a Greyhound either. Because I know if you've ever ridden one, they never stop for gas. It doesn't matter where, I could ride from here to like San Francisco, no gas stops. And the reason for that is because if you fall asleep on a Greyhound, it eats your soul. Like if you fall asleep on the Greyhound bus, you will never get off that bus. That's it. For the rest of time, we're one with the bus. It just feasts on human souls, and then that's how they can afford really cheap fares, I guess. I don't know, because they don't have to spend $15 a gallon on gas. They're like, we found a way to cut out the middleman. Let's just eat our passengers. I performed last month. Is there anybody here that was in Weslaco a month ago at Realmscon? I performed in Weslaco, and it was one of the most amazing venues I've ever performed at because it was like a total disaster, but in the best way possible. They did Rocky Horror Picture Show, which, if you've never seen that, You're missing out, but if you have seen it, then you know that a live performance of that show will fucking wreck a place. They didn't have any time to get a mic. They broke the microphone. I don't know if they broke it, but the microphone stopped working, so I just walked around with a dummy one as like a safety blanket, because without one, I'm like a 3-year-old who doesn't have a teddy bear. So without that, I was just screaming into a room of people, and there was toilet paper and rice and party blowers, and behind me there was an empty wheelchair draped in toilet paper, and the whole time I was like, I have never performed at a Hurricane Katrina charity event before. What is this? Either a bomb went off in this hotel, or this is a college dorm party. What is this? There's just a wheelchair there. Last year I brought my own decorations to have behind me. This year I brought this. They didn't have the projector anymore, but I didn't have any of this, and it's, I would never in my wildest dreams have ever said, I'm gonna perform from a wheelchair. So, well, one of my favorite memories of performing at this Weslaco show was, I asked for a bar stool because when you don't have any decorations, you got the bar stool. That's the stand-up staple. That's your default go-to decoration, the bar stool. That's the classic. You know, everyone does that. Even Jerry Seinfeld, and he, in B-movie. But so I did that. I was like, I want a bar stool and 2 bottles of water. And they brought me, kind of that actually. They brought me an empty chair, which I put this chair here, so it was not funny to me. But when I asked for it, because it's like, there was no bar or stool in the hotel. Even though there was a bar, which was close to remodeling, which is their slogan for, we don't want otakus and furries in our fucking bar, stay out. So I had a regular chair, and I didn't realize it was there until like 5 minutes into my show. So I'm doing my thing, telling a lot of the same jokes I'm tonight. And then I turn to get some water, and I'm, walking away from the crowd, and I turn, and there's a chair. And this was like a week after the Republican National Convention. So I immediately think, oh my fucking god, they think I'm Clint Eastwood. And I stopped the show because I actually keeled over and started laughing. A, because the set was a wreck, and B, because there's a goddamn chair in front of me. And I'm just like, oh wait, this chair is talking to me, you guys. I lean in close and I'm like, what is that chair? What is that? The chair says, fuck you, everybody. It says, go fuck yourself. I didn't really watch the Republican National Convention because there's better political discourse in a given episode of Yo Gabba Gabba than any. It's just, not just Democrats or Republicans, but I mean, really. It was, for a while, he just wasn't trying. He was like, we have put this guy in the race to make Obama look good. Mitt Romney shows up and he's like, hey, you know what, welfare people, I'm going to take all your money away. Also, I don't like PBS because I got tired of watching Sesame Street in the 80s, so fuck that. We're taking that away. 47% of people are just mooching off of welfare, so fuck all of you guys. I bet I can get 53% of the vote. I don't know how to do math. And just for a while, he was just on this winning streak of, whoa, this guy's a fucking nutcase. And, I just can't believe he's the other guy on the ballot. Like, that's the best they could do. And I'm not making jokes about Mormonism, but he wears magic underwear. That's one of the rules of Mormons. You got like those brain pins that come up past your belly button, but like down to your knees, and it's supposed to like keep Satan out of your junk. And the only time somebody should be wearing magic underwear or talking about magic underwear is if they're playing World of Warcraft. If you are at a presidential debate and you're wearing magic underwear, you have automatically lost. That's an automatic lose. That is like saying racial slurs on TV just for the hell of it and saying, hey, all the people I just defended, you guys should vote for me. Magic underwear. I always think Mormonism is funny because they think they get a planet when they die, and it's, like their own planet, like their own, it's like when you die, it's just like you go to like a car dealership with planets, and then you're just like, I want this one. Where do I sign? I don't know who I'm voting for really. I'm probably going to vote for Herman Cain because he sold me on the Pokemon quote. I'm just, that's it, Anytime somebody is seriously running for president and at one of their press conferences, they say, I have some advice I'd like to share with you, and I understand this comes from the Pokemon movie. He wins. It doesn't matter what he says. You quote Pokemon in a serious manner when you're running for president, you just won. You won all of Reddit's votes. That's it. That's everybody on the internet. You win. That's the cheat code. And he figured it out. And Herman Cain is like, he does that grin at the end of it. For the longest time, he had that smile on his campaign ads. And he's like, all you motherfuckers just wait. I'm gonna call a press release and I'm gonna win this bitch. Pokemon. I found out recently that you're not supposed to call rich people rich unless you're rich. You're supposed to call them wealthy. I'm supposed to call them wealthy. That's the politically correct way to refer to job creators, whatever the fuck the magic $5 word of the week is. Wealthy. I'm not going to do that because I will bend over backwards to give you a politically correct term if you have a different skin color than me, if you have a different sexual preference than me. But if the only thing separating you and me is like $48 billion, guess what? I fucking hate you and I'm not going to do a goddamn thing for you. I noticed that we're not that different, you know. Poor people and rich people, we're not that different. You know, one might have a little more money than the other, but I noticed we eat the same things. Like, even though they have expensive tastes, we eat the same foods. If you ever go to a rich person's party and they have the butler and he has a little plate and he's like, oh, would you like some hors d'oeuvres? We have the finest imported sheep sphincters and fish eyes from France. And you think about that and you're just like, you know what? I just had those, but they were in hot dog form from the gas station in the corner. They were $2 for $1. I have an uncle who has a lot of money and he invested in America Online. He was smart. So he bought stock in AOL, and he has a lot of money. I remember one time he was going to go out of the country or something like that. And he called me up when I was at his place. I have these filet mignons I'd like to give you because if they're not eaten within the next 2 weeks, they're going to go bad. Because I don't think you've ever had this kind of food before, so here you go. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks, you condescending douchebag. I've never held $200 worth of meat in my hands before, at least not meat in the sense that it's the kind you eat and cook. I've eaten cook. Cook and eat! It's 12:30, give me a break. And at that moment, I decided I was going to prepare this meat in the way I deemed most offensive to rich people. So I thought about it for a while, and I ground it up and made tacos out of it. And it tastes, I don't know about you, it tasted exactly like $5 Chuck from H-E-B. So the jury's out on that one. I noticed that rich people just eat gross shit just for the sake of it, because it's like, oh yeah, we got caviar and just fucking, all this other just disgusting stuff. Yeah, I want some monkey brains. It's the kind of food that you would think they would throw away and just feed to people that are poor. They're like, no, I want to spend $1,000 on that and I'm going to eat it raw. I can tell that rich people didn't have the idea to eat nasty shit. They got conned by poor people. The guy who invented caviar was not a wealthy businessman, I guarantee you. He was a poor son of a bitch fisherman who was cutting fillets off of a salmon, noticed it was pregnant, and says, I bet I could trick some dumb rich motherfucker into eating this. The whole market was born. And then that guy became rich, and then he got duped into eating out of like donkey semen or something, I don't know, whatever it is. You can buy that at Specs. Comes in like a little, like the honey bear squeeze bottles. It's a horse penis, and it goes great on meatloaf, great on. It says it on the side of the thing. You read the label, like Tabasco sauce, like great on pizza. This says great on anything phallic shaped. I just realized if you make your meatloaf and it's phallic shaped, that's pretty strange. That's if you make your meatloaf phallic shaped, you're either pretty weird or you're in the opening sequence to Austin Powers. I was at McDonald's before this show. You know how much a Big Mac meal is? It's fucking $5.39. And you get a little pissant burger and some tiny ass fries and like a 2-ounce soda. And because you have to supersize it. You can't supersize it because that guy who did the documentary on fat people in 30 days he ruined it. So you just get that and you can pay extra to get 3 ounces of soda and 5 more fries. But it's like, if you were smart, what's stopping you from just saying, I want to get 5 double cheeseburgers off the dollar menu, and just add lettuce and Thousand Island dressing to it. And then you have 5 little Big Macs. Little Macs? You're welcome, McDonald's. I expect a royalty check in the mail. I took a hiatus from telling jokes for a while, so I never got to get in on that juicy Chick-Fil-A controversy earlier, where the guy who owns the company is like, you know what? I really like disgusting overpriced fried chicken sandwiches, but I really hate gay people. I will sell cock meat, but I won't tolerate 2 dudes playing with each other's cock meat. The only cock meat I want gay guys putting in their mouth is mine. I'm gonna give $2 bajillion to anti-gay organizations. I just remember that there was all this religious fanaticism where like, oh my God, Faggots suck. We gotta go to Chick-Fil-A to get some nasty-ass food. Let's do the get waffle fries. Fuck it. What's that? You know what? That waffle fries would be like a grape and put it over your butthole and then you can't get in there. It's like a sewer grate. When's the last time you ever saw religious fanaticism for fucking charity? Like Pizza Hut's doing this thing now where you get like a medium pizza, they give like $1 to feed starving kids. You would think if people were Christ-like, they'd be like, dude, you know what we need to do? After Sunday Mass, let's go down to have Pizza Hut, we'll have a pizza party, and that way we can all have money going to kids who don't have any fucking food on their plates. But instead, they're just like, you know what, those kids can starve because they were born poor, vote Republican, we hate faggots, we're going to Chick-fil-A, get in the church bus that taxpayers paid for, we're going, come on, go. It's not even good food either, I mean, that's the thing. Their food sandwiches are drier than a Christian woman's vagina. That's what's up, that's Chick-fil-A. 1 Million Moms, the Facebook group, which is also a religious organization. And you think about that name and it's like, 1 million moms. They can't be bad. They can't be bad. It's a million moms. That's a 7-digit number. It's a one with 6 zeros. I don't remember a lot from algebra, but I remember that is a big number. I gotta give them the benefit of the doubt. What, you put 1 million moms together, what are they gonna do? You think of just all the positive things that could come about from 1 million mothers. Education reform, affordable health care for kids who can't afford to get flu shots and get vaccinated and stuff like that. You know, cleaning up the projects so kids don't, you know, end up on the streets and dealing drugs. No, they hate gay people. I know there's not 1 million moms in that group. I know there's not. And that's not because they had less than 1 million likes on Facebook either. This was up here. This was all up here. I thought about that and I was like, that's not possible. Because I bet they had a meeting and they took a head count and they were like, it was 1, 7, 8. Fuck it, round it up. 1 million. 1 million. 1 million. That's a bigger number, right? That's 1 million? I know this also. I mean, if you added up their combined weight, they might add up to the average weight of 1 million people. I mean, they might be a technicality. They might be like 1 million moms, asterisk, by weight only. Measured by volume, not contents. I know it can't be true, because if you put that much stupid into one room, you get what's called a stupid singularity, and it's like a black hole, but not. And it slowly gets bigger, and it gets bigger and bigger, and then it eventually consumes the building, and then everything around the building, and it's like a black hole, and it eats the whole Earth, and then the universe, and then it's the sun, and it's not good. And I know this is true because it was on Science Channel, and Morgan Freeman narrated it, and I was like, I believe in Morgan Freeman because you are God. When you die and go to heaven, that's who you see. It's Morgan Freeman. It is him. Promise. I think about religion a lot, and I think about like if we ever made alien contact, like not if we contact aliens, but if like an alien race just like showed up and they were like, we've already done everything there is to do on our planet and we're bored as shit, so let's just take a joyride around the universe. Just there's the Jetsons sound effect. And then they like, oh look, our life sensor detectors on this planet in this solar system. Wow, let's go see what they're up to. And then they come land here and it's gonna fucking suck for them. Because it depends on where they land. They're either, well, they land in the Middle East, they're going to get blown up. If they land anywhere where there's rational thought, they're going to be captured and dissected. And if they land in Alabama, they're getting raped. So, I mean, it's just, we're not doing good for intergalactic peace here. We are totally fucked. But I like to imagine the second we make alien contact, the first thing some dickhead's going to do is going to be like,
have you guys heard about Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior?
And you know, the aliens, if they're traveling through space, they're like a gorillion years advanced. They're not, I mean, they're just gonna look at us and they're gonna, with their, you know, blue skin and big eyes, and they're gonna be like, the Gleek stopped believing in God millions of years ago. It's cute to see that you still believe in it. There is nothing of value here. Fire the death beam. On our planet, the only people who still believe in God do so ironically, and they wear ugly sweaters and hang out at Starbucks. Religion makes people do really stupid things. Circumcision is one of them. That's a great idea. I don't know. I don't want to meet the guy who came up with this idea, but I want to meet the guy who first tried to sell it to somebody. Like the guy who heard this pitch for the first time. You get this fanatic guy who's been, I don't know, whatever. It was called mental disability back then, but that was actually talking to God. Whatever. This guy says, all right, I got this great idea. I'm going to cut the skin off the tip of my dong. I'm going to cut that off. But Jesus, check it out. Get back to me on that. Get back to me on that? Okay, why are you hitting me? I bring up circumcision because we've actually found a way to undo that, which it's possible. It's a physical conditioning procedure, something like that, and it's undoable. Which I think that speaks volumes for humanity, not just one country or just all of us on the planet combined. Our collective mentality and brain power. We fix that. We fix circumcision. Let's take a tally of other stuff that's currently killing us. You got AIDS, we got diabetes, we got cancer, we got Alzheimer's. Let's check our score here. AIDS, no. Diabetes, now kids are getting it. Cancer, no. Alzheimer's. Circumcision, done. Polio, smallpox, it's gone. That's it. It's out of here. 50 years from now, no one's going to do that anymore. People in the year 3000 are going to look back at 2012, they're going to be like, what the fuck? Are these people living in the dark ages? How did they live without their dong skins? I'm just impressed that we can do that. Because I like to imagine that some guy gets in a car accident, right? He loses his arm, and they wheel him in the emergency room, and he comes to in the operating room, and the doctor's like, Steven, we've got some good news, we've got some bad news. The good news is, well, you survived the accident. The bad news is, you lost your right arm. Also, more good news, we noticed you were circumcised, and we fixed that for you. More bad news, though. You lost your right arm, so you're going to be enjoying some strangers for a while. That's when you use the hand that you don't normally use. You can sit on it and make it numb, too. Not that I know, but I love the old internet, because I love how anything goes. Everyone was just like, you know what, let's make up a bunch of shit. Pokemon doesn't work. I love the old internet because anything goes. It was unmoderated, it was ugly, everything was Times New Roman. I miss that because the internet sucks now. Let's just take, I'm really happy to live in a time where I could see the birth of the internet and then, watch it grow and then it dies a horrible death of old age. But when it was first developing, it reshaped a lot of things in our world. Let's just, I want to go over some of those things with you actually. One of the most important things is instantaneous international communication. That's crazy, In the early 90s, you wanted to talk to China, you used like 59 cents a minute, and you had to be 1-800-COLLECT, and you had Carrot Top, and you were like, I fucking hate this guy, but it's still, or 10-10-220, all calls of 20 minutes, just 99 cents, just 10 cents a minute after that. Why do I remember that? But now with the internet, I can send an email to China. Not to somebody, I can just send an email to China, the whole country, just CC China, say, hi, China, greetings from America, sorry about the lead paint, sorry about the 2 kid thing, so, here you go. Tally ho, fuckface. I don't know. I don't know what I would say to China if I had to talk to China. But you had instantaneous international communication. And you have terabytes and terabytes of free pornography. That's the best one. And there's more every day. You would have to devote entire lifetimes to watching nothing but porn to see all the porn on the internet. It's going to get to the point where you're going to be born one day and they're just going to hand you a DVD under 18, or not DVD, Magic Blu-ray Power Cube, whatever the fuck they store data on in the future. They're going to hand you something that has data on it. They're going to say, this is all the porn that was made on the day you were born. It's all you're ever going to need. Welcome to adulthood. I like that. If you were to make a chart of amount of porn versus time, it would just, you'd have like a little, actually it'd just be a straight line straight up from the beginning, I don't know. It wouldn't be a chart, it'd just be vertical. Just vertical and with a slight pitch. That's all it would be. If you put it on a graphing calculator, it just fuck you. The third thing the internet has brought us is it's completely reshaped and made legitimate independent journalism. That's a thing now. That's an actual legitimate business. You can have an independent blog, independent website, and you can report on stuff. Because before the internet in the 1980s, independent journalism was that guy with the really weird, kooky eye who would hang out at the Kinko's and make carbon copies of his handwritten UFO sightings magazine and hand them out at the local library. But the fourth thing the internet has given us, and what I would argue is the most important thing, and the greatest thing, would be furries. Furry is something that could have only happened with the internet. There's people in the furry fandom who say that furry started in 1970, or people have been fucking animals since the dawn of time. I can tell you exactly when furry was started. It started in 1995. We've got a whole bunch of weird perma-virgin nerds who play way too much Star Fox and Sonic the Hedgehog. These are the people who have grown up to make speed runs of these games. I make fun of furries. Okay, before I start making fun of furries, let me tell you why it's okay to make fun of furries. It just is. It just is. Every generation has that cultural demographic that it's okay to make fun of that the next generation feels bad about. Our grandparents didn't really get along too well with colored people, and our parents felt bad for that. Our parents don't like gay people. We feel bad about that. We don't like furries. Our kids are going to feel bad about that, and I don't know what our kids are going to hate because I can't see the future, whatever. I'm getting the stink eye from someone in the room. I don't want to acknowledge their existence because then that would be like they know that I'm onto them. I mean, if they're staring at me like they're already writing their Fur Affinity Journal in their head, and they're like, God damn it. I heard this fucking terrible comedian at the convention day. He's this asshole, wore a fucking gay-ass necklace. He was ripping on furries, wasn't even funny. Made jokes about Greyhound bus. No one uses Greyhound. It's not relevant. Greyhound's been relevant never. You have horses out there?
They're calling you kids.
I haven't started the horse jokes yet. God damn it. You guys ever been to a furry convention?
No.
Don't go. Just don't. Don't go. Take my word for it. I perform at anime conventions, I perform at furry conventions, and I've been around. And furry conventions are awkward because, believe it or not, furries are very sexually promiscuous. That's like a thing. Did you know? I don't know. The convention I was at, I was just by myself because I'm there to tell jokes and whatever. I was approached by a bunch of people who were just like, I don't know you, but you wanna go like behind the tree over there and suck my dick? I'm like, are you asking me that because I have like a staff badge on and you think I'm a fucking popufer, or are you like legitimately interested in me because you're like a 1 or a 2? I'm sure whatever's going on downstairs is in the negatives. A lot of people are like, furry fandom isn't sex-centric. I'm like, fucking full of shit. Yes, it is. That's all it is. It's just people fucking. And conventions is just like, it's like a singles bar, but even for people who aren't single, because it's just like, hey, I have 5 mates. You want to just come to my room? We'll make the maid just commit suicide when they come in. I can prove to you that the furry convention is sex-centric, and here's how. When's the last time you went to a Trekkie convention that sold silicone Klingon dicks in the dealer's room? Let me tell you when. Never. That happened the other day, said no one never. You go to a dealer's room at a furry convention, there's like 5 people selling dragon cocks and like 2 people selling leather harnesses, and everybody else takes porn commissions. I mean, it's literally, you walk in there and there's just dicks everywhere. And there's no females, because the entire furry fandom is gay, and it's all men, and there are no women, and there are no straight men. And I can verify that 105%. Let's just bump that shit up. This is like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It just goes way over 100. I was staying at the hotel. And I was walking down the aisle, the hotel rooms, and you've got the long, you get to the vending machines, get ice, and you're walking and you pass up the cluster of doors, there's like 4 doors, and you walk by and 3 of them have a furry themed do not disturb knocker on it, and the 4th one just has the generic one because they're too fucking lazy to make one. And you just hear animal sounds coming out, and you're like blinders. You're walking straight ahead, and you're like, please God, just let that be a really good impression of the dog. Please God. I don't know how to man, but just come on. Is that a horse? What is it? You know The Shining? The hotel from The Shining? You'll wish you were there if you go to a furry convention. It's like, where are those twins with the fucking tricycle? I want to play with them. I want to see some people! I want to see some humans! When I was at the convention, I saw people walking around, they had dogs, and these people weren't blind. Like, they had actual dogs. They weren't You know, they weren't like some guy in a fursuit dressed as a dog. That wasn't like an actual, I walk on 4 legs and speak no English and could not object to anything, dog. And I knew they weren't blind because they weren't tripping over furniture, you insensitive fuck. They were buying story commissions that were not in Braille. And if you immediately thought I was going to say the furniture thing, you're mean, because The Life of a Blind Person is not the opening to the Dick Van Dyke Show on repeat. They don't just constantly fall over everything. That's very rude. You guys remember Mr. Hands? He was in the news like 7 years ago, so it's kind of at that cusp where it's okay to make jokes about him now. Mr. Hands is the name of both a video and a person. And basically, Mr. Hands is a guy who really likes horses. Here's the horse jokes. He's just a man who loves his horses a little too much. And there's a shock video going around called Mr. Hands. And it's a video of Mr. Hands having sex with a horse. And some of you might have only skated in here on the 18 and up thing. So if you were aware of this 7 years ago, you were 11. And if you were watching that at 11, you had a fucked up childhood. Your parents needed fucking net nanny or something, I don't know. Mr. Hands passed away. You probably guess why. He died having sex with a horse. And it's not, you might be thinking, if you picture it in your head, which I know you are and you don't want to, you might be thinking, how do you die from that? Because that's like the epitome of hot dog in a hallway. You know, did the horse like kick him in like the artery in his leg and he like bled out or something? What the fuck happened? Wasn't a female horse and he was receiving. So there's the problem here. When I went to school, I majored in communications, and I'm going to use my education now. One of the things I learned was get the audience involved in situations, and that way we'll pay more attention. So I invite you to do an exercise with me. With one hand, I want you to make an OK symbol. And I'm being generous here, but you can probably guess what this represents. And with your other hand, make a fist. Your goal is to fit the fist through the OK symbol without separating your fingers. If you can do this, I would like to see a video of that. If not, you can see where the problem happened. There's a lot of geometry involved in this. I mean, let's take a look at this. You got what's the length of a horse penis? It's like, that's probably right. He's black. Okay. Look at this. You got like 3 feet. Black beauty. I think the horse actually was black, which is why this joke is funny to me. So just think about the geometry here. You got 3 feet, right? Let's measure this. Start with the guy's asshole, right? Then add 3 feet. He was up to his neck in trouble. The fucked up thing is that there's a rumor going around that the shock video is the one that he dies in, and that's false. He's not fatally injured in that video, which is kind of alarming because that means that this whole horse thing wasn't a Budweiser fueled, hey guys, on camera, let that horse fuck me moment. This was premeditated and grossly miscalculated. They actually made a documentary about this man's life. His name was Kenneth Pinion, and he is a testament to the fact that you could do something completely stupid in American culture and will glorify you with the movie. The movie is called Zoo. I'm not lying. It's a real. I should have brought it with me. Because I bought the movie because I would like to know more about this man that I'm going to be berating. It really kind of upset me because it's just. I watched this and I feel bad for just fucking everybody in this movie. This is just the most miserable thing I've ever seen. I feel bad for, you know what? I feel bad for Thor because he was the horse. That was the name of the horse according to the movie was Thor because they castrated the horse. And I just feel like that's some kind of, justice has been served. The guy who was fucking the horse is dead. Anybody who's gung-ho about the death penalty, that's basically it. That's like the worst way to go. Having somebody at like the lethal injection station accidentally swap whatever it is they use, like battery acid, is a more pleasant way to go than dying with 3 feet of force punching you in the Adam's apple through your asshole. I feel bad. I got to know Mr. Hands. You know, he was the guy that was down on his luck. He had a wife and a son. They got divorced. You know, he had a job working for the government. He worked for Boeing, and he designed torpedoes, which is kind of ironic. I'm not making this up, he actually did. And it's just like he has a job that like he can't talk about, and he has like a lifestyle he can't talk about, so he's just like the lonely guy with like a couple friends who also like horses, and I feel bad for him. I feel bad for his son. He had a kid, and I know that the rest of that kid's life, his dad is always going to be that guy. That's it. You know, he's going to go through life, he's going to meet somebody someday, just start shooting the shit with a friend at a bar. He's like, yo man, my dad died in the Afghanistan war. He died serving his country. How'd your dad die? I understand you mentioned earlier your dad passed away. It's like, yeah, my dad died, he died serving a horse.
All right, I'm sorry for your loss. What did he do? Was he cleaning its hooves and it kicked him?
Yeah. We'll go with that.
I have a feeling you're lying to me.
I feel bad for his friends that were involved because the guys who didn't die have a worse fate because they got arrested, and now that's like on their permanent record. I don't have sex with animals, and therefore I've never been arrested for it, so I don't have that charge on my rap sheet. So when I apply for a job and it says, have you ever been convicted of a crime? I'm like, nope. But these guys are like, yes. And then the line under that is, if so, explain. No comment. Because it doesn't matter. Like, if you answer that question honestly, and you apply for that, you're never getting that job. No one's gonna. People are like, we're equal opportunity. This guy fucks horses? No.
I don't care if he went to Harvard twice.
I think most importantly, I feel bad for the family of the departed. Because, you know, when someone dies, you always gotta lessen the blow. When there's a funeral, you know, when you console each other, like, you wouldn't say that, you know,
Uncle Bob died, his heart blew up and he shit his pants and he rolled out of bed and we just, found him and he was, face down and pulled his own vomit. So he's dead.
You don't say that. You say Uncle Bob had a heart attack and he passed away in his sleep. And you're like, oh, well, at least he died peacefully. But no, he didn't. So I'm trying to figure out how you would lessen the blow if you're the family of Mr. Hands. And the best I could come up with is if someone's at the funeral like, I'm so sorry for your loss, Mrs. Pinion. How did he go? And the only way you can save face in the situation is to say, Kenneth wasn't an accident. He was rear-ended by a Mustang. I fucking hate bugles. Not the instrument, well those suck. But I'm talking about like the snacks, the bugles. I don't want to call them snacks because they're not.
My dad likes them.
Your dad, maybe doesn't have taste buds. Nobody eats those things because you put them on your fingers and you're like, Freddy Krueger, and you hit somebody and you're like, oh fuck, now get the vacuum cleaner. Statistically speaking, your dustbuster has eaten more bugles than you have. Fact. You don't eat them. You basically wear them and the liquor's like, oh, there's a fucking pound of salt on this. What is this? This is disgusting. And that's because the people who make bugles, they don't fucking care. You know, it's like a guy who's operating the machinery, he's having an affair with his boss, and like her ass bumps a little lever, and they just dump the salt in there, and she's like, oh no, wait, and the other guy's like, no one needs these fucking things, who fucking cares, just let it go, and just whatever. And then they load them up in a truck, and then they just fucking park it outside for a month, and then they're never fresh when you get them. You open it up, and it's, oh, what is this disgusting? What is wrong with this? They park them out there for a month, then they remember they have them, they're like, bring them in, it's raining, get the tarp, fuck it, just don't worry about it, just leave it there. A friend of mine challenged me to make jokes about bugles, make them funny. The guy who invented bugles didn't even know they're making them, by the way. He's just, one guy, he was, worked at the Doritos factory, got one soggy, wrapped around his finger, and it's like, I'm gonna kill myself now. I like watching reality TV now. Not all of reality TV. I like watching Hoarders. Hoarders finally sold me on TV after 13 years. And I like Hoarders because that's a film that pick me up. You can be happy about anything, you know? Because I watch Hoarders and I go clean my apartment immediately afterwards. And it makes me feel good about myself because I know that I have some clutter issues. I have books beside my coffee table that need to go back on the shelf, but I know there's no dead cats under that. 99% of that one. My favorite episode of Hoarders, you're not going to believe this, but a woman who pooped in her closet in Walmart bags and just threw it in the... I know in the show that the doctors, when the family is like, why do you do this? Why do you have so much shit in your house? Literally. The doctors, apparently their brother is Kermit the Frog. Why do so much shit?
Today on a very special Hoarders, Kermit the Frog confronts Mrs. Piggy's hoarding problem. You're such a fucking pig, Miss Piggy! Your hoarding is tearing our family apart!
So this lady, she spent so much money on Avon, whatever the fuck Hoarders buy, expired food, that they turn off her utilities. So her solution was, I guess I should start pooping in all of those Walmart bags that I've been saving for the past 20 years. And that's how she justified that, is she's like, I'm gonna take a dump in this bag and I'm gonna put it in that closet. I don't understand the mentality behind that. The doctors say to the family, you don't understand the disorder. You're fucking right, I don't understand the disorder. Because if someone poops in a closet, they have more problems than just hoarding. There's like 14 other things going on there, man. There's a lot of stuff. If I woke up one day and my utilities were off, my response would be to get a fucking job. I would go to my neighbor, I would say, you know what, I'm on hard times, may I use your facilities to get cleaned up? I'm gonna go work at McDonald's today, so I can have my water back on. Did you guys catch the episode of Hoarders at the beginning of this week? It was incredible. You think that the poopy bag joke was great. This lady like pooped in bottles and just threw it out in her yard. Like just like ocean spray cranberry juice bottles. She just like and then throws it in the yard. It doesn't matter what you do in your, it doesn't matter how much of a fuck up you think you are. That will always pick you up. You could be like, dude, got fired from my job. I'm gonna get kicked out of my apartment. A girlfriend left me, but at least I don't poop in bottles and throw it in the yard. It doesn't matter what your problem is. You say that to yourself. Say it out loud. You will feel better. I fucked horses, and then I got fatally wounded and died, but at least I don't poop in bottles and throw it out. Man, I lost my job, and now I tell jokes that nobody laughs at anime conventions, but at least I don't poop in bottles and throw it out in the yard. It even works for really extreme things too. It's like, I fuck kids, but at least I don't poop in bottles and throw it out there. It's like, seriously, if you put two child players together, one of whom pooped in bottles and threw it out in his yard, and you had to pick between the two, you had to spend the day with one, you would pick the one who doesn't do that. It doesn't matter if what they do is so inherently offensive that you just want to punch them in the face with your keys. You're just like, you don't poop in bottles, so I don't know, you fucked the good kids lately? What is it? Tell me something that doesn't involve food in bottles. I don't have a problem with hoarding, which means I do, I guess, because they denial. But I don't, because my parents from a young age taught me to clean my fucking room and to get rid of shit that I don't use anymore. And we would do that by a garage sale, and that was always fun because then you actually get to turn your old crap into money. And then whatever doesn't sell, you just put it back in the garage, light it on fire, and collect an insurance check. Some of you might call that insurance fraud. That's actually called fire sale. Real thing. It's not illegal unless you get caught. I hate Pawn Stars though. I fucking hate that show. Because Pawn Stars is just a show about 4 fat dudes who try to do the least amount of work possible. You want me to appraise this?
I don't know, buddy. Let me call him in. He's an expert in whatever the fuck this is.
And the guy shows up and he's like, this is actually a one-of-a-kind rifle from the Civil War. You can tell from this, and this that it's George Washington once had it up his ass. What's the value of it? $48 bajillion. All right, check it out. I'll give you $10 for it. I don't have people that come in every day looking for guns that our first president used to anally pleasure himself. So, $10 final offer. It's going to be in my shop a long time. I hate it. The show is hosted by fat Bruce Willis. You ever realize that? Like, it's just like if Bruce Willis has let himself go and was like, after Die Hard, he was like, you know what? This blows. I'm going to pawn shop. That's what would happen. That is somehow an alternate dimension folded over onto ours, where Bruce Willis is just a washed up piece of shit, and that's Pawn Stars. They just gave him a show. You just think about that. The guy, even though he makes a lot of money, he's got to be miserable because his dad starts this business and, then he passes it on to his kid. They accept the fact that their entire life is, we're just going to be fencing stolen goods in Las Vegas from crazy crackhead homeless people and strippers. That's our entire life. We're just going to be fencing a bunch of shit that no one wants to buy. But wait a second, a TV show. I bet people want to buy bobbleheads of us. Thanks, History Channel. At least they don't just
show like Nazi programming all the time. Like History Channel used to always be like, the Nazis, Part 49. Adolf Hitler was a really bad man. It's like, we get it, thank you. I play a lot of SimCity, and I know that everybody in this room has played SimCity, and you all play SimCity the same way that everybody else does.
On Facebook?
Facebook, doesn't matter how you play it. You play it for 20 minutes, and you try, then you remember that you put power plant down, you did some zoning, you built some roads, you forgot the water pipes, and nobody moves into your town, and you get crushingly defeated. So defeated that you decide to load up a pre-made map and just go disaster, fire, disaster, fire, disaster, fire, disaster, fire, disaster, fire, disaster, flood, disaster, plane crash, disaster, fire, fuck you, Paris, I'm going home. Paris is burning. I like playing The Sims because it's the same way. You're like, oh, I can have my own family because I'm never going to have one because I'm playing a game about making a fucking family. I'm gonna have a mom and a dad, and have 2 kids, and we're gonna live in the 2-story house in the suburb. We gotta start in the 1-story, the crappy one first, and then we're gonna move up. We're gonna be like the fucking Jeffersons. He's gonna get a great job, and we're just gonna get the good one. And you try for like 5 days in game, and you're just like, you just start watching these people walk around, and then you decide, you slowly devolve into this insanity where you're like, how can I kill these people? You can really tell the likelihood of somebody being a serial killer based upon how they kill their Sims. Normal people just delete the doors and smoke detection from the furniture from the fireplace. Crazy people take a better approach to it. And it's for this reason that I feel that they could have just released The Sims as Poltergeist the game and sold just as many copies, if not more. Guy walks into his bathroom. You freeze time, delete the bathroom, and make a mace of mirrors. Imagine if this was real time, and you walked into your bathroom, and it's seamless to you because when time is paused, you don't know what's going on. You walk into your bathroom, there's your toilet. Oh no, where do all these mirrors come from? I just urinated all over the floor. What is this? You mess with people in the kitchen, they're cooking, and then they turn to get something out of the fridge, and then the stove and the dishwasher have like swapped, and you're just like, cook on the stove, the dishwasher moves on its own, they turn around, the refrigerator is now 5 spaces that way. They think something's up, but they're not quite sure what it is. I like that they could just be Eternal Darkness 2, Sanity's Revenge, because that game needed a sequel. And just watch how your Sims just slowly devolve to madness, where you move all the furniture in front of the stove, and the house is blazing, they've deleted the stairs, the guy walks home, where did the fucking stairs go? I can't remember. I came up here, they were here 5 minutes, how do you do that? Honey, the house is on fire. I can't come down the stairs. They're gone. Climb out the window. They're gone. Just grab something and bring. I can't. The furniture is disappearing as I'm speaking to you. Bobby, get out of the kitchen. I can't stop turning on the stove. I don't know why. I didn't know they made a Sims 2, by the way. I saw a commercial for The Sims 3, and I was like, did they even make it? Did they just skip it? They were just like, we made enough expansion packs just to make a 3. You can play as like Katy Perry in the 3rd one, which is a bad idea. Because I would just put Katy Perry in like a 1x1 room with like clown paintings and just make her perform until she dies. That's just, oh, you want to stop Katy Perry? Right click, perform. Who's the firework now? Perform, no. You want to sleep? You want to sleep? I am your God, perform for me. I always like it, when you're atheist and religious people are like, but you're gonna go to hell if you don't repent. Always like, religious people telling atheists that they're going to hell is like Blockbuster Video telling you to get late fees on stuff you haven't yet rented. Like, in the future, you might rent Dragonheart, but if you do, you're gonna have late fees. I like to watch the Wild Thornberrys when I was younger, and I always secretly wanted to see the episode where they go to the slaughterhouse, because that would be great. Because it would be like an animated version of Schindler's List. Like, everybody there knows they're gonna die. And Eliza's like, hi, what's going on? Oh my god. Oh god, the voices. This is Event Horizon, but with animals. Oh shit. And you got Nigel somewhere, whatever he does. The wife with the camera, and the older sister's like fucking the guy in the security room, and then the monkey falls in the meat grinder, and then
the little Tarzan boy, he just gets lost and he gets abducted. He crawls into a cow's vagina. I don't know what he does. I haven't thought that joke out that far. I have a furry friend of mine who's he's really into eggs, like, you know, just putting things up his ass that are egg-shaped, and then I guess you crap it back out. Whatever, to each their own. But he has brought me to this facet of his life, and for whatever reason, okay. I apparently became his anal play coach, and he called me one day. I have a new toy, and I'm like, okay, thanks for the call. This is going to be TMI, isn't it? And he says, I have bought a new egg toy. It's about the size of my fist. And when somebody says that, the first thing you do is you do the check. And I told him, I said, it's probably not a good idea to put it in your ass. And I said, I have a bad feeling about this. He says, but why? I have toys that are wider than that. And I'm like, yes, but they have faces. And he says, I told him, it's not getting it in that's going to be the problem. It's going to be the opposite of that. He's like, oh, I can handle it. I'm like, I implore you to reconsider. And we talked about something else, and the phone call ended. And as soon as it hung up, I'm like, he's going to put it in his ass. He calls me 15 minutes later. I don't have to say anything. I answer. I don't even say hello. He's like, it's in there. It's not coming out, is it? He's like, no. What ensued was about an hour of me talking him through things over the phone while he tries to fish it out of his ass. He finally gets it out, and I have nothing to say to him except, what have we learned today? Don't put it in there. Ever again. You now have an amazing party story. And I have an amazing joke to tell my audiences. I hate Family Guy. I don't like it because there's no rhyme or reason to the humor. And for a stand-up comic, it is our worst nightmare. Because it's just a shotgun blast of, is this funny? Is this funny? Is this funny? I've had to retire entire bits and jokes because it shows up in Family Guy. An example of this is Facebook. I don't know how to use the like button when somebody says somebody's dead. Do you like that to say my condolences, or do you leave a comment? Do you not like it? Do you know, there's no dislike button because Mark Zuckerberg only sees things in terms of profit. So I don't do that, and then lo and behold, I do this joke, and then someone comes up to me after a show and says, hey, you're a great big phony! You ripped that joke off of Family Guy! Just like I ripped this impression off of Family Guy. And I say, no, I didn't. I don't actually watch Family Guy. I prefer more intellectual comedy. What's the problem here? What joke did I accidentally Carlos Mencia from someone? He says, that joke about the Facebook! What's the joke about the like button? He's like, yes! And I'm like, you're gonna 10, he's like a 3. What the joke about that? That's on Family Guy. He's like, yeah, there's a part where Lois is talking to the Pewter Schmidt lady, and she's like, someone's dead, and then she likes it, and then you took it from Family Guy, so fuck you, I'm not coming to your show ever again. I'm like, okay, you watch Family Guy, so I don't even know why you're at my show. I have this story I tell people. I don't like to go to SeaWorld, because I don't like the way they handle their cetaceans. I'm not really an animal rights activist, but I'm kind of an asshole about things, and stickler for stuff. I just tell people when they say, you want to go to SeaWorld, because I live in San Antonio, that's like right down the street from me now. I said, no, I can't go to SeaWorld. They've kicked me out for feeling up the dolphins, so I'm on probation. I'm legally not allowed to be there. One of my friends did not think I was joking, and he says, so the thing about SeaWorld, you're not allowed in there because you have sex with dolphins? And I'm like, okay, first of all, if you want to think of the physics of that, no. I asked for a clarification, and he's like, well, we always say that you can't go there because, you feel them up. And I'm like, right, that's a joke. I don't actually do that. A, because I don't know how to get into the parts that are locked, and B, it's a little bit unethical. The funny thing is, he asked me this question because we were going to visit his father's ranch, and they have a horse there. And the second question, he tries to do this faux pas where he's like, oh yeah, I knew it was a joke. And he says, without any regard, you're not going to fuck my dad's horse, are you? You know what? Let's just go home. Let's not go to the ranch. I've been doing this voice throughout the whole show. It's kind of like, hi, I'm Dr. Steve Rules. Welcome to Bruce Rules. I do this joke constantly. I kind of fell into this voice. You can say anything in that voice, the most offensive things, and it's funny. You know, it's...
What's 10 inches long, strikes in the middle of the night, and makes women scream? Crib death. Hi, I'm Dr. Steve Brule with some dating advice. You want to pick up partners? You can say, hey, I wish you were broken Nintendo games so I could blow you.
Doesn't always work, especially on women. I like Nintendo cartridges because there was like the one technology you could fix by blowing on it. Like you'd think of other stuff you could fix by blowing on it, nothing. Any game cartridge, you blow on it, oh, that works now, okay. My computer has a virus. My stove is on fire. That might work if it's a little fire, but only works on birthday cakes.
Oh, my cake's burning. Alright, happy birthday.